make sense to be a so-called work martyr in order to get some recognition and possibly higher pay within your company. Now, first of all, what exactly is a work martyr? Well, apparently it is a person who doesn't take breaks or use vacation time out of fear that he or she may be seen as replaceable or undedicated to the job. Now, roughly 40% of employees desire to be seen as a work martyr by their employer. However, 86% of employees surveyed believed it was a bad thing to be seen as a work martyr by their families.
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. Now, interestingly enough, I know that, the conventional wisdom says show up first, leave last, work nonstop, and you're going to get the recognition you want and the recognition you deserve. But that's actually not the case. By the way, millennials are the biggest offenders of this.
Of being work martyrs.
Of being work martyrs, probably because, excuse me, many of them have graduated into a bad economy, and so they feel lucky to have a job, and they're worried about losing their jobs, and so they go out of their way to kind of overcompensate when they don't even really need to.
Maybe they should be afraid.
And by the way, that's not based on my own perspective or speculation. That's based on surveys that have been taken. There's Project Time Off that did a survey on this, and they found that millennials are especially more willing to be work martyrs, and they think that it benefits them, but it doesn't. Now, work martyrs, it has been proven by studies, make less money, and they earn less, and they receive less bonuses, okay? So why does that happen? So they're 13% more likely to feel stressed out in their work life compared to more balanced employees, and 20% more likely to feel stress at home. So employers are like, this is not a good thing. When you're overworking yourself and you're saying yes to everything when you can't actually handle everything, is terrible, because it shows us that you're unable to stand up for yourself and say no to things that you're just unable to do due to lack of resources. Time specifically. And also, if you put too much on your plate, you kind of half-ass everything, and it's less productive.
I wonder if they controlled for how long the people have been at the jobs or in the job force at all. Because it might not be that they're making less money because they're work martyrs. They might be work martyrs and be making less money because they're new to the job.
Yeah.
So I don't know for sure, because I haven't looked at the raw data, but that is one thing I would consider. I know that anecdotes don't matter compared to the statistical data, but I do think that at least early on when I was a work martyr, I don't say no to things almost ever, but I don't work the crazy hours that I used to. Like, I used to like to be in basically first or very early and then stay until very late, and usually it wasn't up to me because I had to edit clips after we did the show from 6 to 8. So for the first year, I didn't take almost any days off at all, including on the weekends. And I like to think that helped me personally. I think people saw that. Now, we have a very different sort of workplace than most places, where we care about each other and we notice the work that we do.
Do we?
I think so. I fear that in larger corporate workplaces, it can simply be expected. And if they realize, oh, his default setting is he'll work 80 hours a day, or she'll work 80 hours a week, that they just accept that and they don't think of it as being impressive.
Do we work in the same company? Are you kidding me right now?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I was my commentary on this would be that we at TYT are encouraged by our employers to be work martyrs.
No, I agree. I agree. But I think that if you do all that work, I'm not saying that we get I'm not saying you get monetarily compensated, because clearly we don't. I'm joking somewhat. But I do think they notice it. They at least give you a tip of the hat. Which is nice.
Fair. They do notice it. You get the tip of the hat. We are 100% work martyrs at TYT.
I'm not as much of a work martyr as I used to be. I'm just keeping it real. I'm gonna start working more
during the weekends. You travel during the weekends
to
do
not
TYT
usually,
on Fusion.
That's only for 12 weeks.
You're insane. No.
There are people out there that edit that stay until 8 and 9 o'clock every night. Those are work martyrs.
Yes, they are.
And they're here earlier than
TYT,
me.
culture of work martyrs. There's no question about it. Anyway, now we've oddly made this
sorry,
personal.
Sorry. Yeah.
But
that's what we do on the show.
So related to this, though, is how unproductive you become when you lack sleep, right? So Rand Corporation, Rand Europe specifically, did this huge extensive study on lost productivity and lost money as a result of the workforce not getting enough sleep. And they compared the United States to various industrialized countries, okay? And here's what they found. Sleep-deprived people, and this is not anything to argue with, this is fact-based, have higher mortality rates, they miss more days of work, they're less productive in the office, and they also struggle to keep up in school, right? So if you are sleep-deprived, you are more likely to take time off, and your company loses money as a result of that, right?
I'm sure you've experienced it. When you're like in a funk or whatever, it's harder to get your work done.
Absolutely.
So I have to ask you, are you prepared to apologize to Arianna Huffington? Apparently sleep is the most important thing after all, you naysayer, you.
Look, no. Arianna Huffington is right. We do need to sleep more.
Okay, good.
No, I'm not mad at, I'm mad at her, right? It's just difficult to take the advice from someone who is in a different socioeconomic status from someone such as myself.
Just get 8 to 10 hours of sleep a day on a bed made of pure gold and cash.
According to
She's
Rand,
a good woman.
The U.S. loses approximately $411 billion a year as a result of sleep deprivation by its workforce. So these are all things to keep in mind. Take care of yourself. I think that it's actually a sign of strength when you stand up to someone and you say, no, I don't think that's the right project for me. You need to be kind of specific in what your goals are. Where do you see yourself within the company? Where do you see yourself in your career? And be hyper-focused on that. Don't say yes to a bunch of projects that don't make sense for what you want to do.
Sadly, people lose their jobs, right? I'm sure we've mentioned this. And then if someone's sleep deprived, if they're missing work, if they're taking vacation, if they're falling asleep at their desk, supervisor comes up and goes, what are you doing? And you start getting written up, you get in trouble, eventually you get fired, and then they replace you with another person.
That's true.
In certain industries, you just cycle in a new person. Oh, let's hire the new kid who will have to pay $25,000 a year. They'll do it, drain their ass for 5 years.
Yeah.
That's why we fired Ben Mankiewicz. He said no one time. We're like, get your ass to the curb.
I think one of the
Replaceable.
One of the things that everyone should keep in the back of their mind when they start working at a new company, you're the worst.
I just want him to get tweets about it.
Start thinking of ways to make yourself irreplaceable, right? So it's like find ways to sabotage the company.
Change the passwords to things. Don't tell people what they are.
Exactly. Yeah, stuff like that. If you are
chain yourself to your desk.
By the way, I can't emphasize this enough. If you are doing something, if your career is dependent on clients and you have clients through some sort of corporate situation or whatever. Like let's say you're a hairstylist and you work for a salon and the salon has all the information on all the clients. Don't let that happen. That's a bad decision, right? You should have all the information on your clients, right?
Yeah.
That way if you move, you have that. That's like the most valuable thing you can have. So just find ways to protect yourself, obviously, and don't be a work martyr. That's my advice. But I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and you get fired for not being a work martyr. If you're like, you know what, I'm not taking that project. No, I'm going home and getting some sleep. They'll be like, stay home. It sucks. I'm not saying you're wrong.
But I think that if you, look, you have to stand out by being awesome at one thing, right? Now, unfortunately, you guys kind of lack that here at TYT, and I mastered that skill. No, I'm just kidding. But no, if you're really, really good
You're about to become a regular martyr.
if you're really good at one thing, and you're hyper-focused on that, and that's what you provide for the company, it gets difficult to fire you, right? That's what I'm saying. But if you're trying to be a jack of all trades and you say yes to everything and you half-ass everything, I'd argue that makes you more replaceable.
The whole 2-hour podcast of the Young Turks, commercial-free.
You're gonna get it.
If you become a member, tytnetwork.com/join.